Hey class, we're going to move on to how to write a movie script part 2 and go into formatting basics. All right, so in this lesson, I want to talk about the Big Four. And this is not the name of a Midwestern college football conference, like the Big Ten or like the Big Eight. I think that was like Oklahoma, Nebraska, all those, whatever. It's not that. It's actually something that I took from a Script Frenzy, which is a default script writing website from years ago, and it made sense. It's like basic 4 things, meat and potatoes. You learn these things, you can write a script. So that's what we're going to get into right now. So in order to achieve perfect formatting, which is what you are going to do in this class, we're going to begin with these 4 main elements. And once you've done that, then you could do a lot of the rudimentary stuff that you need in order to write a script. So first of all, we have what are called slug lines. A slug line is the same thing as a scene heading, but slug line is what you call it. Okay. And you need one of these at the beginning of every single scene. And right here we have an example. I have it highlighted in yellow. Exterior college parking lot day. So what does this mean? That means exterior, it's outside, EXT, college parking lot, that's where it is. You don't want to be super descriptive on these things. If you're too descriptive, then it starts becoming something more than just a slug line. You want to get in, get out, just give them an idea of what this is. It could be interior car day, which is what we're going to look at in just a minute. Make it short, make it sweet. Day, night, sometimes you put morning, evening, things like that. It could be more specific, but the basics are whether it's inside or outside, what the place is, and then day or night, okay? So you get in that's in a scene, and then everything else that happens within the scene, all those other parts happen after the slug line. You're done with the scene, then you're on to another scene. So here's an example right here where we have multiple scenes. So exterior parking lot day, we have 2 guys, they're walking in the parking lot, they walk over to a car, they get in, then it cuts to another scene, which is them inside the car, interior car day. Then they have a conversation in there, and then we cut to exterior car day. The car explodes in slow motion. And then we cut to another scene, interior surveillance van day, and the people who are listening to that are experiencing that. So we have 4 separate scenes here. Yes, 4 separate scenes here, and they all happen very quickly. But when you go from one place to another, you have to have a slug line showing that you're in a different scene. Now, when you're moving quickly, you can actually start to abbreviate this stuff, and I'll tell you folks how to do that a little bit later. Okay, that's an advanced thing, but this is the basic way that you do it, and if you do it like this, you're doing it totally correctly. Okay. Next, we have action description, which you have highlighted in gray here. And that's because the script is not just people talking. Some people think it's like, well, I went to see a Tarantino film and all anybody was talk the whole time. That's true. That happens. Or the movie The Social Network. It's nothing but talking for like 2.5 hours. That's Aaron Sorkin. He writes a lot of words. You got to put it in there. Okay. But it's not just talking. You've got action. You've got description. Before you can actually have those people start talking, most of the time you need to describe where they are. You know that they're interior classroom day. Okay, cool. We're in a classroom. That's our slug line. Now we describe what's going on there. So in this case, Dr. Rosenblatt Garcia Smythe stands at her podium while students turn in essays onto a table next to her. And then we can get to the dialogue. We've described what she's doing before we get there. So then we have another block. She laughs. No one else laughs. Go to another scene. Dr. Rosenblatt sits at her desk grading papers. In this case, she doesn't say anything. She's just doing stuff. And when people are doing stuff, we need that action and we need that description. And sometimes it can be really descriptive. Other times it's going to be a little bit more bare bones. You really have to kind of get a feel for what kind of story you're writing and what you need for that particular scene. Next, we have character names. And those are going to be in turquoise, and then the dialogue is going to be in green because these 2 things go together. So every time a character speaks, there will be a name heading. And this is only for dialogue. I want to point this out. You don't write a character's name in all caps and then have them do something. It doesn't work like that. In action, In description, you write them doing stuff, and then in dialogue, you write their name and you have them say something. They're two totally different processes right there. So here we go. Interior briefing room day, which is your slug line. Then we have some description and action. Hardcastle paces around. Amanda and Chet walk in holding binders and folders. Tiffany follows with a tray of water and peanuts. That is the description that we need an action to get to where we can have our dialogue. Now they start talking. So we've got the names in all caps, always in all caps for this part. So Hardcastle, and then we have her dialogue. All right, team, we've got to get these bastards this time. Our jobs are on the line. And then we have everybody else's. Works the same way. Notice that the dialogue lines up on the left, and then the name headings also line up on the left. That's the way it's going to work. That's how you know if someone's using center justify or center alignment, because they don't line up, but they need to line up like that on the left. Okay? And that's how you write dialogue. Okay. And as I said, it's not all you're going to be writing. There's going to be description, punctuating it, and things like that. Hardcastle slams her fist on the table. There's an action. Then we go back into some more dialogue. Now we put that all together. Okay. It ends up looking like this. Slug line in yellow. Action and description is going to be in gray. Names are going to be in turquoise, and the dialogue is going to be in green. So we have that slug line. Interior briefing room day, we know where we are. We have some description and action setting us up for our dialogue. Then we have our dialogue, and then we have just enough to go in there. It's a nice balance, gets us exactly where we need to be. So you have these four elements, the big four. You're ready to rock and roll, and you can actually start writing stuff. Okay, that's all you really need to do. Probably 90% of your writing, depending on what kind of writer you are. Okay, but it's there, and it helps set us up for the next one for part 3, which is going to get us into the advanced stuff. And I'm going to be giving this to you a little bit later.